You're watching the best high school sports broadcast produced entirely by students and adult volunteers. This is Arrow TV.
Ladies, gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to Arrow TV. I am Cam Corey and I am your host for tonight's AA matchup between the Douglas Patriots and your Watertown Arrows. Both teams are on the court getting ready for action, so let's first talk about the Douglas Patriots. We don't know a lot about Douglas as they hail from the West River town of Box Elder, which is 1 to 2 miles east of Rapid City and home of the Ellsworth Air Force Base. Fun fact, it is one of the fastest growing towns in South Dakota, in addition to one of the fastest growing school districts in South Dakota. Because they hail west of the river, we don't get an opportunity to see a lot of the Douglas Patriots. But what we do know is that Douglas comes in tonight with a 1-10 record and are currently seated 16th in the AA power standings. What we do anticipate tonight is that Douglas will be playing a man-to-man defense and on the offensive side of the ball running more of a half-court offense is what I would say. Douglas is led by number 33, Kiana Walton. She's a 5-foot senior guard who averages 8.3 points per game. And folks, she's not afraid to shoot the three. She's attempted 72 three-pointers so far this year in their contests. Kiana is a 24% three-point shooter, so the Arrows need to know where she's at on the court and make sure that she does not get loose. Kiana averages 8.3 points per game, 2.8 rebounds per game, and 1.5 steals per game. The other starters for Douglas is number 11, Raina Johnson. She's a 5'5 junior guard. She's averaging 3.2 points per game and 2.7 rebounds per game. Number 13, Leslie Moore, is a 5'5 senior guard, averaging 1.9 points per game and 4.2 rebounds per game. Number 22, Bailey Clark, a 5'11 junior forward. She's averaging 3.5 points per game and 3 rebounds per game. They're going to round out that first five with Zoe Janice, a 5'9 senior forward. Douglas, I believe, is going to play 4 off the bench tonight with some meaningful minutes. Olivia Harris is a 5'9 freshman guard. Coley Cruz is a 5'2 8th grade guard, so 8th grader playing for the Douglas Patriots, and she averages 4.3 points per game. Chloe Shreve, she's the 6'1 freshman center. She's averaging 5.1 points per game and 4.4 rebounds per game. And the fourth one we expect to come off the bench is going to be number 32, Olivia Ashley. She's a 5'8 senior forward, and she's averaging 1 point per game. Watertown is coached by first-year head coach Chad Rohde. He's assisted by Mackenzie Bulow, Stacy Hendricks, and Taya Miller. Watertown's coming off of a big win over ESD rival, the Huron Tigers, this past Tuesday. And they currently sit at 6-5 on the year and in that 7th spot in the AA power standings. So we look at some of the team comparisons. Watertown is averaging 46.7 points per game, while Douglas is averaging 28 points per game. Defensively, Watertown is giving up 46.5 points per game, and Douglas giving up an average of 53.3 points per game. We're going to turn it over to the Watertown Band and band director Austin Fordham for tonight's national anthem.
These individuals attend clinics, region meetings, complete rules meetings, and take tests in preparation for the sports season. During the season, these dedicated men and women take time away from their personal schedules and families to provide opportunities for the thousands of student athletes that participate in SDHSAA activities. We thank you for your continued dedication to the sports you officiate. Please show your appreciation by giving a big round of applause for these outstanding officials.
Public address announcer Mark Bellum
Tonight's officials are Nathan
giving
Beaver,
some props to our officials tonight.
Positive treatment will be expected at all times. Failure to do so could result in a removal from this event. Please stay standing while we play the national anthem.
And now we will hear the national anthem by the Watertown Aero Band, directed by Austin Fordham.
Stand at attention with your right hand over your heart. Veterans and active duty personnel not in uniform may salute the flag. First, let's meet our Aero cheerleaders. Brooklyn Dahl, Natalie Benson, Erica Stato, Lauren Keller, Alexis Olson, Erica Andrews, Mackenzie Lewis, Annabelle Brendan, Gracie Ryder. Tonight's Aero cheerleading advisor is Jenna Hansen. And now your starting lineups. First, for the Douglas Patriot girls. Number 11, a 5'5" junior guard, Raina Johnson. Number 13 is a 5'5" senior guard, Leslie Moore. Number 22, a 5'11" junior forward, Bailey Clark. Number 33, a 5-foot senior guard, Kiana Walton. And number 35, a 5'9" senior forward, Zoe Janice. Assistant coaches, Brooke Clark.
And there you have the starting lineups for both the Douglas Patriots and the Watertown Arrows. Each of these teams have played two common opponents. Rapid City Stevens, or three common opponents. Rapid City Stevens, where both teams did lose to. Rapid City Central, Watertown did defeat them, while Douglas did lose to them. And Brandon Valley, which both teams lost to. We are going to have Clark and Emery Thury that are going to tip off tonight. Thury does win the tip, so the Arrows will take possession. Jada Young at the point. She's going to go to the left perimeter to Rhodey. Rhodey right-hand dribble down into the paint. She goes up. No good. Rebound. Douglas. Walton, aggressively defended by Miranda Falconer. Left-hand dribble. She's at the top. And she shoots, and no good. So the Arrows will take back possession. Jada Young, a 5'8" senior guard. She's averaging 10.5 points on the game. Thury into the paint, and she's tied up for a jump ball. And Douglas Patriots are going to take possession. Arrows are going to play a full court press here. Inbound does go to, does get in. Clark having some difficulty with the Arrow full court. Gets it to Walton. Walton gets across the 10-second line, and then it is stolen by Thury, and Walton does commit the personal foul. So that is going to be Kiana Walton's first foul, the 5-foot senior guard, who is arguably the leader of this Douglas Patriots team. Jada Young, point guard, be at the top, give it over to Rhodey in the left perimeter. Rhodey looks inside, nothing going, right-hand dribble over to Jada. Jada's gonna be on the arc, and three-pointer no good, rebound, Patriots. Walton's gonna get it across that center stripe. Does get it over to Johnson. Johnson, right-hand dribble. She goes in the paint. No good. Rebound. Jada Young. Jada's going to push it up the court. She sees Falconer and tries to get it to her, but Kiana Walton does steal the ball. So turnover by the Watertown Arrows. As we expected, the Watertown Arrows do play an up-tempo offense. Three-pointer, no good by Falconer. Rebound, Paulson. Thury down low, gets it back out to Paulson. Paulson for two, no good. Thury with the rebound. She goes strong up, and she's going to get the 2 points. So the Arrows on the board first tonight. Inbound to Walton. Back to Johnson. Johnson gets it across that 10-second line to Clark, to Walton on the left perimeter. Walton looking, see if there's anything going. They are playing that half-court offense as we expected. Now to the left corner and down low to Zoe Janice. And that is off the mark. Rebound, Maddie Rhodey. Maddie Rhodey is a 5'7" senior guard. She's averaging 10.4 points per game. Jada Young in the paint, gives it off to Paulson. Paulson back to Falconer. Falconer left-hand dribble, nothing going, gives it to Arrow bullseye for Jada Young. 5 points. Or lead for the Watertown Arrows. Douglas coming right back. Walton to Clark at the top. Back to Clark, back to Walton on the left perimeter. Walton with the three-pointer, no good. Rebound comes down to Jada Young. Jada Young is going to push that up the court, and she's picked up, sees a cutting Thury. Thury goes into the lane. And count it. So Thury gets the layup and is fouled. And that is going to be Walton's second foul. Emery Thury, the 5'10" sophomore forward. She is a 63% free throw shooter. She averages 6.5 points per game. First one's up, no good. Rebound by Young. Gets it out to Rhodey. Rhodey to Young. Young fake, goes into the lane, passes it out to Jada, but is fouled. And Jada's going to go to the foul line, calling it a shooting foul. That foul was called on Leslie Moore, a 5'5" senior guard. Jada Young is the Dakota Wesleyan University commit. She's aggressive. As we've seen today, she's quick. She runs the court well. Jade Lund has come onto the court for the Arrows. She's a 5'8" junior forward, and Grace Corey, a 5'6" sophomore forward, has come onto the court. Rhodey with the rebound, tries to save it, gets it to a Douglas Patriot. Coley Cruz, the 8th grader, now onto the court for the Douglas Patriots, and she gets it into Olivia Ashley. Olivia Harris also on the court, so these are some bench players for both teams seeing some action. Shot by Douglas, no good. And a tie-up by Jade Lund and Chloe Shreve. Chloe Shreve is a 6'1" freshman center. She averages 5.1 points per game and 4.4 rebounds per game. And Jade Lund is able to tie her up on the rebound. Watertown back on their end. Corey, left-hand dribble, nothing going, gives it to Paulson. Paulson over to Young. Young sees Jade Lund. Jade at the top of the key. She's looking to get something going. And just about stolen by the 8th grader of Cruz. Gets it to Young. Young goes into the paint, nothing going. Misses that shot. The 8th grader comes down it with Cruz. Cruz looking to make something happen. She's guarded by Corey. Shoots, no good. Shreve gets the rebound, goes back up, no good. Jade is going to bring it right back. So the Arrows are playing their game quick, fast tempo. Rhodey for 3, no good. Shreve with the rebound and gets it to Walton. Walton's going to get it across that 10-second line. And she gets it to Ashley. Ashley to Cruz. Cruz looking for something. Right-hand dribble. Back to Walton at the top. Walton in to Shreve and back out for maybe an 18-footer air ball. And so the Arrows will take possession. Emery Thury back in the game. Miranda Faulkner back in the game. Jada Young's going to bring this ball up. And she gets it over to Faulkner on the right perimeter to Corey at the top of the key. Corey, not a good pass to Young, stolen by Johnson. Johnson goes coast to coast, and Corey goes up, defends her, and she is called for the foul. So turnover and Corey's first foul. First one up for Johnson, and it ping-pongs up there and does roll off. No good. So Raina Johnson, 5'5" junior guard. She's a 56% free throw shooter. She averages 3.2 points per game, and she does get Douglas on the board. Jade Lund, no good. Corey with the rebound, and she is fouled as she goes to put it back up. So Corey is going to go to the line. Foul is called on number 24, Harris. Corey misses her first shot. Corey is a 53% free throw shooter. She's averaging 5.5 points per game and 4.8 rebounds per game. Second one's up, and she makes one of two. So she's on the board with one. Arrows again aggressive on that full court press. They see Clark out there on the perimeter, gets it back to Johnson. Johnson's going to be picked up by Emery Thury, going to give her some space. The 8th grader Coley Cruz now gives it back to Johnson. Johnson looking for something down low. She's quite a ways away. In the deep corner to Clark. Clark takes the three-pointer off the rim. Maddie Rohde gets the rebound. Jade Lund is running the court. Maddie's going to take it all the way, and she is fouled down there under the basket by Johnson. So Maddie Rohde, the USD javelin commit at the line. She's a 70% free throw shooter, and she makes her first one. Actually called Cruz on that foul, it appears, and Rohde goes 2 for 2 there. Patriots get it across the 10-second line. Johnson. And Cruz playing catch there. Nice inbound pass to Shreve, but Shreve is quickly smothered by that Arrow defense, and they get the steal. Jada Young's going to go in the paint and reverse layup, and she gets it to go. Jada Young with her 5th point of the night. Timeout by the Douglas Patriots. So as we expected, the Arrows like to run the court up tempo, and that's exactly what they've been doing here in the early going. 13-1 lead for the Arrows with 1:16 left in period number 1. They haven't really had to set up their offense a whole lot today. When they do, it's a pass and cut offense. They look to get that high percentage shots and get the foul, and that's what has been happening tonight, only on the fast breaks. So Douglas is going to look to slow the Arrows down and get them out of their game is their goal here, and we'll see if the Patriots can do that. Inbound to the 8th grader of Coley Cruz. She's going to get it across that 10-second line, picked up by Maddie Rohde. She does pick up her dribble quite deep there in that front court. And back to Cruz. Cruz takes a right-hand dribble into the paint, gives a floater, and she's got 2 points. Nice floater by Cruz. The Arrow's right back, though. Jada Young with 3. Arrow bullseye, Jada Young. She has 8 points on the night. Steal by the Arrows. Maddie's going to go in, and she is fouled by Clark. That's going to be Clark's first foul of the night. So Maddie Rohde back at the line. She's got 2 points so far today. And she misses her first one there. She is a 70% free throw shooter. And she gets that one to drop. So she's got 3 free throws on the day for 3 points. Arrows up 17-3 here in period number 1. And they've got trap, steal, and just about a steal by Jada Young. So Douglas is having difficulty with this aggressive Arrow full court press. Clark looking to get it in, and she does get it in to Olivia Harris. And down low to Shreve. Shreve is blocked, shoots again, blocked a second time. And then it goes to Johnson, and the Arrows strip it out of her hand and goes out of bounds, last touched by the Watertown Arrows. So Douglas will look at get it in. Clark inbounding, and she does get it into Johnson. Johnson to Clark. Clark with a deep three-pointer. Air ball, no good. Jada Young with 3 seconds left. 2, 1, she needs to shoot. She does. And they call a foul. So Jada Young is going to go to the line here and shoot 3. Kind of a just a mental lapse there by Douglas, fouling her with a desperation shot. Jada Young gets her 9th point of the night. Jada Young is a 73% free throw shooter. She averages 10.5 points per game. And she gets the second one. And so going to attempt 3 for 3 here. And she goes 3 for 3. So Jada Young will take the Arrows into a lead at quarter number 1 with a 20-3 lead. So Douglas will take the court just a moment before the Arrows do, and the Arrows are going to join them back in the court. So Douglas comes out with Cruz, Walton, Olivia Harris, Leslie Moore, and Zoe Janice. The Arrows have Maddie Rohde, Miranda Falconer, Emery Thury, Kendall Paulson, and Jada Young. Early foul here by Miranda Falconer, so that's her first. Walton, right-hand dribble in the corner. She's looking for something, gets it over to Cruz. Cruz, nice crossover dribble on Rohde, nothing going. Rohde does get in front, but Cruz keeps working. She puts up a heave, gets her own rebound, and layup no good. Ripped away by Olivia Harris, so nice rebound by her. Gets back out to Walton. Walton's going to reset this offense. Left-hand dribble, and they're going to call a foul on, I believe that's going to be Kendall Paulson. Or, they called it a Maddie Rohde. So Maddie Rohde picks up her first personal. And timeout called by Douglas. They are not happy with the call down there. One of the Douglas players, I didn't see it, did hit the deck, and the coach of Douglas is pleading his case and clearly upset with a no call there. So Douglas will inbound it again, and Cruz is going to inbound it. And she does to Walton. Walton's picked up by Thury. And turnover, 4th turnover by Douglas here in the early going of second quarter. Rohde with the three-pointer. Maddie Rohde, arrow bullseye, her first one of the evening. Maddie Rohde is a 30% three-point shooter, averages 10.4 points per game. So Rhodey has 6 points on the day. Inbound go to Walton. The Arrows pick up Cruz there. Cruz gets it to Walton. They do get it across that 10-second line. Walton to Cruz. Cruz into the paint. Nice floater by the 8th grader. Coley Cruz, she's going to be a good one, folks. Somebody to watch. That's her 2nd bucket of the day. She's got 4 points. Gets it to Jada Young. Jada Young with a 3-pointer. 14 points for Jada Young. 26-5 score here. Arrows up. Walton over to Cruz. Cruz back to Walton. Walton's going to take the 3-pointer. No good. Rebound by Thury. Jada Young pushes it up the court. Off to Rhodey. Rhodey to Paulson. Paulson's going to get in on the action. Bullseye! Kendall Paulson. Walton brings it up. The Arrows now drop back into a half-court defense. Turnover by Douglas, and Rhodey goes up, and she is fouled on the layup. So Rhodey is going to go back to the line. Fun fact about Maddie Rhodey, her favorite TV show is Grey's Anatomy, and she likes to eat tacos, so that's her favorite food. Rhodey misses the first shot. She's got 6 points so far on the day. The Arrows bring Grace Corey onto the court, Jade Lund onto the court, and Neely Johnson, a 5'8" junior forward, sees her first action here tonight. And Maddie does get that shot. So 7 points for Maddie. Walton's going to bring the ball up. Gets it to Clark. Clark over to Cruz. Cruz with the long 3-pointer. No good. Corey with the rebound. And then they tie up Corey. Possession arrow does go to the Arrows. So Rhodey will inbound to Jada Young. Jada's going to bring up the court. And she'll be picked up by Walton there at the point. Off to the right perimeter of Lund. Lund over to Rhodey. Back over to the left perimeter of Young. Corey down low with Johnson. Nothing going. And she gets it out to Rhodey. Rhodey, arrow bullseye! Maddie Rhodey. 10 points for Maddie Rhodey. Walton brings it up. Over to Johnson. Back to Walton. Walton down to Clark. Johnson with the 3-pointer. No good. Cruz is there for the rebound, and she is fouled. So Coley Cruz, a 5'2" 8th grade guard. She's a 59% free throw shooter. She averages 4.3 points per game. And already today she's at 4 points. So first one's up, no good. Jade Lund, her first foul, personal of the night. Second one's up, and no good. Neely Johnson comes down with the rebound. Young to a cutting Rhodey, and Rhodey loses the handle. Turnover by the Arrows. That's their third here in the first half. Walton brings it over, gives it to Johnson. And Douglas calls timeout. With 4:21 left in the second period, the Arrows up 33-5. We couldn't put on this production without a group of talented, dedicated volunteers, comprised of mostly Watertown Arrow students. So on our camera one is Kyle Gall tonight. He is not a student, but a volunteer adult, and we appreciate him helping out with our production tonight. Courtside, Carter Miller and Carter Remmers. On our video switchboard, we have Parker Remmers, and video board graphics is Ryan Remmers. Katie Liederbrand is in our control room tonight, and Ryan Remmers is on, or is producing this broadcast tonight. So we want to thank them for the good work that they do. Cruz is going to inbound this to Walton. Walton at the point, picked up by Jada Young. Over to Johnson. Johnson back to Walton. Walton to Cruz. Cruz looks inside to Ashley. Ashley shoots, no good. Rebound Arrows. Arrows push it up the court. Young's picked up by Walton. She gives it to a cutting Jade Lund. Jade loses the handle. Turnover by the Arrows. So that's her fourth turnover of the half. Walton on the other side is going to direct traffic. Right hand dribble on that right perimeter. Gives it to Johnson. Johnson picks it up. Thought maybe she traveled. No call. Gets it back out to Walton. Walton's going to reset this offense. Gives it to Cruz. Cruz over to Ashley. Ashley back to Cruz, and Cruz to Walton. Walton takes that deep three-pointer. No good. Johnson gets the rebound, and that is her third point on the day. Fast break to Neely Johnson on the other side. Neely to Jade. Jade's going to take the three-pointer. No good. She's going to get her own long rebound. Over to Neely Johnson. Neely's going to take the shot. Arrow bullseye. Neely Johnson. 3 points for Johnson, the 5'8" junior forward. She is a 25% three-point shooter, so she shoots well from the arc. Nice rebound by Ashley. She goes up, and she is fouled by Jade Lund. So Olivia Ashley is a 5'8" senior forward. She is about a 25% free throw shooter. First one's up and good. So Olivia Ashley is on the board with her first point of the night. Madison Grimsrud, number 40, a 6'1" sophomore center for the Arrows, sees the court for the first time this evening. Jada Young will inbound it to Corey. Corey back to Young. She's going to be picked up by Walton at the point. Over to Corey on that left perimeter. Corey, right-hand dribble into the paint, nothing going. She tries to feed it. Not a good pass. And jump ball possession, Douglas. So Johnson to Walton. Walton's going to be picked up by Miranda Falconer there at that center stripe. Does get over to Johnson. Johnson is defended by Corey. Back to Walton. Deep in that front court. They get it over to Ashley. Ashley tries to get it back to Walton. Miscommunication by Douglas, and it does go out of bounds, and arrow ball. Jada Young is going to take a breather. Emery Thury comes back onto the court. Emery right-hand dribble down in the corner. She picks up her dribble. Gets a skip pass to Paulson. Nothing. Falconer for three. Arrow bullseye. Miranda Falconer. That's her first bucket of the night. She's got 3 points. The Arrow's up 39-9 here in the second quarter. Walton on the perimeter. She takes the three-pointer. No good. Rebound Corey. Corey's going to push it up the court. They do have numbers. She gets it to Falconer. Falconer back to Corey. Corey shoots the 15-footer, and she banks it in for a bucket. She's got 3 points on the day. Did she call it? That is the question. Walton at the top of the key, over to Cruz. Cruz back to Walton. Arrows now playing a zone. Steal by Falconer. Falconer's got numbers, sees Corey. And Corey gets the bucket down low for her 5th point on the night. So assist by Falconer. Walton over to Cruz. Cruz back to Walton. Shreve, Johnson. Johnson looking to do something. And she is going to be fouled in the paint there on the floor. So not a shooting foul. We're going to see Molly Hendricks and Emma Hendricks. So number 32, Molly Hendricks, and number 10, Emma Hendricks. Molly is a 5'8" junior forward, and Emma a 5'7" sophomore guard. And they get on the court for the first time tonight. Falconer was called for that personal foul. And that is the Arrows' 7th team foul. Patriots have 8 team fouls. Olivia Harris's first shot is up, and that is good for her first point of the night. Second one will be up. She is a 50% free throw shooter, and she gets both of them. So well done by Olivia Harris, the 5'9" freshman guard. Thury with the drive, puts it up, no good. Rebound by Shreve. Walton's going to push, she pulls it back out, and she is guarded by Molly Hendricks. Gives it over to Harris, down low, nothing going. Shot, miss. Maddie Grimsrud gets the rebound. Emma Hendricks brings it up the court, gives it off to Emery. Emery down to Corey. Corey shoots, no good. Gets her own rebound. And she is going to be fouled down low. Believe that's going to be on Johnson. And the sophomore Corey will go to the line. So Corey is 1 for 2 from the free throw line today. She currently sits with 5 points, be a 1-and-1 situation. First one's up and no good. Desperation shot there by Coley Cruz, no good. So at the half, the Arrows are up 43-11 at the half. We're going to take a short break, and then we'll be back with you and give you a synopsis of what happened in the first half. Be back in just a moment.
I'm Jada Young. I'm a senior, and my parents' names are Robbie and Mike Young. My favorite basketball memory is the bus rides, all the bus rides. My favorite meal is chicken pot pie. My favorite subject in school is math. My favorite sports team is the Green Bay Packers. My favorite movie is Tangled. And the person I look up to is my brother. My favorite professional athlete is Sabrina Ionescu. If I could travel anywhere in the world, I would go to Australia.
Tell Katie. Katie's not up there. Say smile. Do I take him off? You guys want to go up there? Want to go up there? You guys go on camera. Want to go on the Jumbotron? Do high five, Cam. High five, Cam.
And welcome back to the Watertown Civic Arena. You are watching Arrow TV, where the Watertown Arrows currently are up on the Douglas Patriots at the half, 43-11. As we look at the tail of the tape here in this first half, the Arrows came out with an aggressive full court press defense and created a lot of problems for the Douglas Patriots. They had some steals. They went in for some easy, quick layups, and then the Arrows got hot from the three-point arc. We've seen that once before this year when the Arrows played Rapid City Central. They shot 65% from the three-point arc in that game and put up 77 points. So the Arrows certainly have the ability from the long distance shooting, and we're seeing it again tonight against, unfortunately for Douglas, it is them, and they are the recipients of the good shooting of the Arrows. So breaking down that first half, Raina Johnson, a 5'5" junior guard, she has one free throw and one bucket for 3 points. Walton has been held scoreless in the first half, which is a big problem for Douglas. She is the Patriots' leading scorer at averaging 8.3 points per game. She's a 24% three-point shooter, and so she just hasn't found the stroke yet tonight. So the Arrows are doing a good job on Walton, and the Douglas Patriots are going to look for a way to get Walton more involved. Olivia Harris, the 5'9" freshman guard, she has 2 free throws in the first half for 2 points. And the 8th grader, Coley Cruz, she's 5'2", but handles the ball very well. She's not afraid of these Arrows, and she's attacking them with a crossover dribble, getting into the paint, doing some floaters. She's got 4 points in the first half. And Olivia Ashley rounds out the scoring for Douglas here in the first half with 1 free throw. So we look at the Watertown Arrows. They have played their entire roster in the first half. 13 players. We talk about them a little bit. Madison Rohde, the 5'7" senior guard, has 10 points in the first half, 2 Arrow bullseyes, and 4 free throws. Emery Thury is on the board with 4 points, getting 2 buckets. Jada Young, she's on the board with 3 Arrow bullseyes, 1 bucket, and 3 free throws, and those 3 free throws came at the end of quarter number 1 when she was fouled on a desperation shot at the as time was running out. So Jada Young, the DWU commit, has 14 points in the first half. Miranda Falconer is on the board with a bullseye, 3 points for her. Kendall Paulson joins in on the fun, as the Arrows certainly are flying well tonight. She has 3 points. Grace Corey, She's on the board with 5 points, 2 buckets, 1 free throw. And Neely Johnson joins in the Arrow party with a bullseye, also having 3 points. So at the half, we have the Arrows up 43-11. One of the things that Coach Rohde's doing is he's gotten all of his girls, all of his players on the court. They're all contributing, and that's what we see with this Arrow team throughout the year. Maddie Rohde and Jada Young both respectively averaging 10.4 points per game, and Jada at 10.5 points per game. And then Emery Thury right there with 6.5. Miranda Falconer, 5.5. Grace Corey, 5.5. Kendall Paulson averages 4.4 points a game. Jade Lund, 2.9 points per game. Addie Johnston and Avery Munger, who are not with us tonight. Avery, if you're listening to this, we wish you well. We hope you're feeling better. We know that she is ill, and she's missed tonight and Tuesday's contest, so we certainly hope that you are on the mend. Addie Johnston went down last Tuesday with an ankle injury, and so she's out as well, and we hope that she is healing quickly as well so we can see them on the court. But as we look at this Arrow team, they have a balanced scoring, and that's what Coach Rohde is really trying to instill in these girls, that you need to trust each other no matter who's on the court. They are a team, and they play as a team. They may have some leaders in those seniors of Kendall Paulson and Jada Young and Maddie Rohde, but the underclassmen are just as important, and without them and that senior leadership, we would not have a 6-5 record so far in the season. So Coach Rohde and what he's preaching is paying some dividends, and we're seeing that teamwork on the Watertown Arrows. We're going to take a break, and we'll be back with second half action in just a moment. And Douglas is set to go, and they're going to start this second half with Coley Cruz, Kiana Walton, Chloe Shreve, Bailey Clark, and is it Johnson? I can't see her number. Yes, it is Johnson. So the Arrows take possession first. Thury to Paulson to Jada Young. Jada and Walton going at it in the paint. Jada with an underhand scoop layup for 2. Her 16th point on the night. Douglas comes right back. Walton over to Johnson. Johnson right-hand dribble. She's going to try and set up the offense. Gives it to Walton on that right perimeter. Walton sees Shreve down low, and good idea because she does have the height advantage over Paulson, and just a little bit too high, and turnover for Douglas. Paulson inbounds to Maddie. Maddie Rohde brings the ball up. She's going to give it to Thury on that right perimeter. Thury to Jada. Jada left-hand dribble and sees a cutting Paulson, and Paulson shoots, and she is hacked by Clark. And so Paulson is going to go to the line to shoot 2. Kendall Paulson, a 5'9" senior forward. She's a 75% free throw shooter. She averages 4.4 points a game. And she is above, well, not quite. She's at 4 points. And she gets the second one. Now she's above her average at 5 points. Walton's going to bring the ball up the court and be picked up by Thury. She gives it off a little bit soon to the Johnson. Johnson to Shreve. Shreve has got Jada down low. Good idea. She gets the shot. No good. And Shreve and Young tie up down low. So Corey, Jade Lund, and Neely Johnson will come onto the court for the Arrows. And Douglas is going to inbound. They do to the 8th grader. 8th grader shoots, no good. Rebound fought for by Johnson and Lund, and it is off Lund. So Douglas will maintain possession here with 6:31 remaining in the third quarter. Shreve with the shot over Johnson, no good, but Emery Thury comes down with the rebound, gives it over to Jada. Jada brings it down the court, and she's going to give it to Corey. Corey right-hand dribble back to Jada Young. Jada's looking down low, and she has it swiped out of her hand by Raina Johnson of Douglas. So Jada's going to inbound it, and she does inbound it to Corey. Corey right-hand dribble, gives it to Jade Lund. Lund deciding what to do, gives it over to Corey. Corey back to Thury. Thury looking now to Neely, back to Jada Young. 8 seconds on the shot clock. Jada's down low, guarded by Walton. Nice defense by Walton. Jade Lund goes in and gets the rebound, puts up the shot, no good. Shreve gets the rebound. Walton's going to come out of there with the ball and bring it up the court. She's going to be picked up by Jada Young. Over to Johnson on that left perimeter, back to Walton. Walton with the 3, there it is. Walton is on the board with a trifecta. So Douglas is happy to see that. Thury to Corey. Corey back to Young. Young's going to take the 3-pointer, and she gets the roll for an Arrow bullseye. 19 points for Jada Young. Walton to Cruz. Cruz over to Johnson. At front court, left perimeter. Over to Cruz. Back to Johnson. Johnson looking, not a lot of movement by Douglas. A lot of standing around. Over to Walton. Walton looking for something. Over to Johnson. Johnson to Shreve. And punched out of there by Neely Johnson. Turnover. And Emery Thury sees Corey down there. Corey goes up with the shot, left-handed layup, and she gets her 7th point on the night. Walton brings it up and over to Cruz. Cruz takes the 3-pointer, and she gets it to drop. So nice shot by Cruz. She's got 7 points on the day. Neely Johnson with the 3-pointer. Count it! Neely Johnson, her 2nd bullseye of the night. She's got 6 points. Neely Johnson is a 25% free throw shooter. So well done, Neely. Johnson with the 3-pointer, and she is going to trade 3-pointers. So Johnson has 6 points on the night. Arrows up 55-20 with 3:11 left in the third period. Jada Young with the 3. Arrow bullseye! And that is 22 points for Jada Young tonight. 5 3-pointers, so 15 points off of 3-pointers for Jada Young tonight. Walton's going to be bring it up the court, gives it over to Johnson. Johnson to Walton. Walton's going to take the shot, and air ball picked up or rebounded by Maddie Rohde. She's going to bring it down the court. Madison Grimsrud, the 6'1" sophomore on the court now, and she's guarded down low by Clark. They get it into her. Clark picks her up, outlets it back. The Arrows bring it around, get it to Rohde. Rohde, no good, but Madison Grimsrud gets the rebound. Rohde for another one, no good. Neely Johnson is going to be called for the foul. So good rebound by Douglas there, and Neely does foul her.
Leslie Moore in for the Patriots.
Leslie Moore, 5'5" senior guard, is on. She's picked up by, or gives the ball over to Johnson. Johnson goes into the lane, and she's going to be fouled by Miranda Falconer. So that is going to be Falconer's third personal foul on the evening.
That's how we do it.
Molly Hendricks and Emma Hendricks check in for Neely Johnson and Miranda Falconer, the sophomores.
No, I don't.
In and out, no good. And they're going to say last touched by the Arrows. I think they missed that one, but no worries. Shot by Johnson, nice look. Just a little short. Rebound by Molly Hendricks. She gives it off to her sister of Emma. Emma left-hand dribble. Tries to get it to Maddie, and steal by Douglas. Johnson gives it over to Olivia Harris. Harris goes in strong, and she's going to be fouled by Emma Hendricks. So that is Emma's first foul. Nice move there by Leslie Moore. Doesn't get it to fall. Rebound Douglas. Douglas goes up. Wasn't able to get the follow-up to fall. So Rohde's going to bring it back down, give it over to Paulson. Now to Hendricks in the left wing. Hendricks gets it into Maddie Grimsrud. Grimsrud sees Molly Hendricks on the far corner. She takes the three-pointer. No good. Rebound Douglas. Johnson's going to bring it up the court, picked up by Rohde. She's going to give it over to Olivia Harris. Harris back to Leslie Moore. Leslie Moore, right-hand dribble to Johnson. Johnson down low to Zoe Janice. The shot's up, no good. Does go off of Douglas. So Watertown takes into the third quarter with a 58-20 lead. So as we start the fourth quarter of action here, we are in the new South Dakota High School Activities Association rule in AA of the kind of the mercy rule that is a continuous clock. The Arrows get it to Rohde. Rohde with right-hand dribble to Thury. Thury over to Jada Young. Jada left-hand dribble. And back to Paulson. Paulson's going to shoot it up. No good. Rebound comes down and grabbed by Zoe Janice, the 5'9 senior forward from Douglas. Walton's picked up by Falconer and tries to get it to Leslie Moore, and the foul is going to be called on Jada Young. So that is Jada's first foul. So Cruz is going to inbound it for Douglas, and she does to Walton. Walton's quickly picked up by Falconer. And tip, Cruz goes after it, loses the loose ball, and now we're going to have a jump ball between Young, Falconer, and Cruz, and possession is going to go towards Douglas. Walton gets it across the center stripe, picked up by Falconer. To Cruz. Cruz right-hand dribble into the paint. She shoots, no good. Paulson comes down with the rebound, gives it over to Jada Young. Jada is going to go quick tempo. She gets it down, gives it over to Rhodey. Rhodey to Paulson, short corner. Paulson for two. That's her 7th point on the night. To Moore. Moore down to Shreve. Shreve with the shot, and she is going to be fouled by Jada Young. So they're trying to get the ball down to Shreve, which is a good plan. She does have the height advantage over the Arrows. Shreve's first shot, and that is good for her first point. So Shreve is a 57% free throw shooter, and she averages 5.1 points per game, and that was her first point. This is her 2nd point of the night. So the Arrows have done a nice job keeping her at bay down there in the paint. Rhodey to Paulson. Paulson to Jada. Jada with the right-hand dribble in for the layup. So she's got 24 points on the night. Cruz brings it up over to Walton. Walton to Moore. Moore to Walton. Shreve is down low on that block with Paulson to Moore. Moore shoots, no good. And a tie-up between Jada Young and Zoe Janice. And the Arrows will take possession. We're going to see 5 in, 5 out. So Corey, Lund, Grimsrud, Neely Johnson, and Emma Hendricks will come on for the Arrows. Emma will take the duties of point guard, and she's the left-hander. She gets it across the center stripe, and she's going to get over to Corey on the left perimeter. Corey right-hand dribble to Grimsrud. Grimsrud over to Emma. Emma left-hand dribble to Neely Johnson. Neely to Jade Lund on that left perimeter. Jade right-hand dribble over to Grimsrud. Grimsrud to Corey on the right perimeter now. Corey left-hand dribble into the paint. Sees a cutting Grimsrud. Grimsrud with the shot. No good. Shreve with the rebound. So Walton is going to bring it back. 4:35 to play in the 4th quarter. Shot by Cruz. No good. Rebound, though, by Zoe Janice. Back to Cruz. Back to Walton. Walton's picked up by Corey. Janice is going to set a screen on Corey, and they do, and Walton drives down into the paint. No good. Rebound Arrows. Neely Johnson's running the court. She goes up the layup. No good. Rebound by Cruz, and Neely gets her in the back, and a foul. So Neely Johnson called for the foul. We're going to see Raina Johnson back for Douglas. Olivia Ashley back for Douglas. And Olivia Harris on the court with Cruz and Walton. Walton again picked up by Corey. And nice nifty work there by Walton. Walton shoots, no good. Cruz is still working hard there, the 8th grader. She hasn't given up, and she gets the rebound. So nice work by Cruz. She's aggressive. She dribbles the ball well. She's a fun one to watch for Douglas, and they've got 3 more years with her. So some good things coming with that young lady. So stay with us after this girls' game, as Brandon Johnson will be giving you the call on Arrow TV with the Watertown Arrow boys as they face off against the Douglas Patriot boys. So here on Arrow TV and the girls' side, we're going to do a short post game, and then we will be getting it or sending it right over to Mr. Johnson with the call on the boys. Lund, Emma Hendricks, Grace Corey, Neely Johnson, and Grimsrud on for the Arrows. Johnson, Harris, Cruz, Walton on for Johnson gets a three-pointer. That's her 9th point of the day. Emma Hendricks for 3, in and out, no good. Corey gets the rebound, no good. Cruz comes down with the rebound. She's going to push it up and picked up by Lund. She's going to get it over to Walton at the point, and Walton's going to try and reset this offense. She's picked up by Emma Hendricks. Walton to Johnson. Johnson dribble over to Cruz. Cruz picked up by Lund. Cruz is going to attack Lund. Lund says, not tonight, and gets the steal. Gives it over to Emma Hendricks. Emma with some fancy dribbling. Sees a cutting Lund and tries to thread the needle. Not so, and it goes out of bounds off of the Arrows. Molly Hendricks comes on the court for Neely Johnson. So Molly, the twin sister of Emma, she's a 5'8" junior forward. Walton goes into the paint, tries to dish it off to a teammate, and out of bounds on the Arrows. Inbound to Walton. Walton's going to take the three-pointer, and she doesn't get that one to drop. Grace Corey does get the rebound. Johnson over the top, and Johnson is going to be called for the foul. Neely Johnson gets back on the court here. Lund to Emma. Emma sees Neely cutting. She shoots, left hand, no good. Rebound Douglas. 1:07 remaining in this contest. Steal by the Arrows. Neely Johnson is the recipient of that loose ball. And Emma tries to get it to Neely and out of bounds on Neely. 56 seconds remaining. Again, we have a running clock under South Dakota High School Activities Association rules this year. As part of the at mercy rule. So Walton's going to be picked up by Hendricks, and Johnson's going to try and get it down low. Steal by Molly. Grace Corey's going to get the ball and bring that up the court. She's going to be picked up in the front court. Sees Molly. Molly is going to dribble. Nothing going. Gets it to Neely, and Neely is fouled.
Madison Grimsrud in for Watertown.
Seven seconds remaining, and steal by Douglas. And this game is going to end. Johnson just about got that one to drop. This game is going to end with a 62-25 victory by the Watertown Arrows. So let's break this down quick, and then we are going to get over to the Arrow boys game. So the Arrows had some hot shooting tonight. We'll talk about them and their Arrow bullseyes here in a little bit. But first, let's talk about the Douglas Patriots. They are led with a team high by Raina Johnson, the 5'5 junior guard. She averages 3.2 points per game, but tonight she ends up with 9. 2 3-pointers, 1 bucket, and 1 free throw. She's joined in the scoring column by Kiana Walton. Now, Kiana's an 8.3 points per game average, and tonight she only got 1 tray to drop, so she ends the night with 3 points. Olivia Harris, the freshman, she's on the board with 2 free throws. The 8th grader, Coley Cruz, 4.3 points per game average, and tonight she does succeed over her average with 7 points, 1 3-pointers, and 2 buckets. The 6'1 freshman center, Chloe Shreve, is on the board with 2 free throws, and they round out their scoring, Douglas does, with Olivia Ashley, who's on the board with 1. Your Watertown Arrows today are led by Jada Young. She ends the night with 24 points, and that is 5 3-pointers, 3 free throws, and 3 buckets. So she leads the team tonight with 24 points. Madison Rohde, another senior, she ends the night with 10 points, having 2 3-point buckets and 4 free throws. Emery Thury, 2 buckets for 4 points on the evening. Miranda Faulkner finishes her night with a bullseye, so 3 points. Kendall Paulson, she has a 3-pointer, 2 free throws, and a bucket for 7 points. Grace Corey, the sophomore, she ends up with 3 buckets and 1 free throw, 7 points. And Neely Johnson is on the board with 2 bullseyes, ending the night with 6 points. Our player of the game for the Watertown Arrows is going to be Jada Young. Jada Young with a season high 24 points, 5 3-pointers, and she limited the turnovers tonight from that point guard position, led her team to victory, and for the whole second half, the Watertown Arrows played under that mercy rule. Again, we got to thank our production crew. Kyle Gall is on our main camera tonight. Carter Miller and Carter Remmers are our courtside cameras. On the video switchboard is Parker Remmers, video board graphics Ryan Remmers, and in our control room is Katie Liedebrand. As we end our nights on Arrow TV, we want to remind you that an arrow can only be shot by pulling it backward. So when life is dragging you back with difficulties, it means that it's going to launch you into something great. So just focus and keep aiming. Go Arrows. Brandon Johnson with you in just a moment.
You're watching the best high school sports broadcast produced entirely by students and adult volunteers. This is Arrow TV.